Okay, akoy ngasi day hodoshina class 11 gi plant physiology gi chapter number 13 oibani. Chapter naming na photosynthesis in higher plants. Ngasi talk to see we will start with a chapter named photosynthesis in higher plants. Sir Naish ni ko noy mamangi previous year question da yengo ko maximum question hangni question ani ahum adom hangni aduna yamna important oiba NEET tadi question ahum hangpa ka exam sawi ko question ahum hangpa je 4 3 or 12 ne 12 marks ne yani ko aduna yamna chawba chapter singi manungda amani aduna kitang thawai changna tarasi sigi photosynthesis in higher plants ne sidai hoi ihan hana aikoina introduce the way of a let's start by giving the definition of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis kadai bu koboge haibasidagi hobse. Photosynthesis. Lower class tagi hanjan tam aba terms ni photosynthesis si definition su khange. Adubu lower class ta tamakoduga akoina ngasi higher class ta tamdoshiga kitang level di khenai ko. Now, hana khangaba noina hana dagi khangaga lakpa lower class the photosynthesis se kamai define dore. Photosynthesis a process ne. Yani ko the process by which green plants na machinjak sungbudo. Yare ko using sunlight, carbon dioxide and water sinanga. Ana ai noige ariba thainagi lower class ki definition duma itokige aduga kitang higher level da kamaina upgrade to ya ge yengse. Ingar khagre ko now, photosynthesis kadai bu kawi haitardi photosynthesis is a process amane. Process karama makhalgi process no haitardi by which green plants. Aina green plants panbasida pigments yautram niko. Horen definition the pigments haptrasu yare. By which green plants prepares. Pandina kai prepare todawa prepare food. Prepare togi process. Kai food. Food in the form of glucose ki form the prepare todo. Prepare food in the form of glucose. Kay shinarga using the raw materials like kari kari changi using light, carbon dioxide, and water. Yare ko, masibo koina kay koeba photosynthesis koe. Yarabang? Now, hozik akoy definition sida hangakadaba kyam leite ko. Adubu, hogalakpa saruk sida point namdi irameva. Tari point iramge tari photosynthesis is a physico-chemical process. I will explain this one. Photosynthesis है कई ने irameva physico it's a physico-chemical process. Sima koy note to tare swai de dum hangba yai ko. Hangbabu noi previous year da yengoba ko. Kayam hangam yengoba hogalakpa saruk sida. Physico-chemical process amane masi. Ay physico-chemical process se karino haibasi ngatang lere explain toroke hojikidam thamgisi. Yare ko? Sima. Now, photosynthesis ta tawdose. Ay harakige muna tabigo. Akoy cell biology tapakanda we discuss about various cell organelles. Photosynthesis ta isi cell ni karam organelles na. Chloroplast ne. Aduna sir sida chloroplast anta ye kiyong ko sir. Aduga mati nama tang yeng mina sir. See, look here. Everyone look here. Let me draw a chloroplast. See, chloroplast ne lorosini. So I think go. Okay. Okay. Let us say this is the chloroplast. Chloroplast se koina cell biology tam matumda membrane anina surround tawin tamakiko. Okay, sigi chloroplast sigi manungda. Listen carefully, muna tasiko. Chloroplast sigi manungda kay yawa. There are many disc-like structure mayam yawi. Chloroplast si manungda yawi ba disc-like structures hai. Sibo koina kay kawen tamakiba. Thylakoid kawi haina tamakiba ne. Ningsang ibra thylakoid. Si thylakoid kawi. Yareko. Hariba thylakoid sa mayam maron amana amagi mathakta maron longkhatnare. Thylakoid mayam se longkhatnara kanda this group of thylakoid is called as grana kawi. Singular than a granum. Adi si kay neba. This is granum ne. Ningsangi ko ay cell biology to kitang recall torpa khaktani upgraded definition pigena. Yani ko hariba thylakoid ki membrane se asidaneba kana mayam na palay se pigments like chlorophyll mayam se thylakoid ki membrane sida kay mayam na palayeba pigments mayam ama na pagalayeb. Sumayna? Yare ko thylakoid yaudaba swagi space se sina kay ko ba we call it lumen kawi haina tamakibni tamakibro tamakte kay kawen tamakti stroma kawen tamakiba. Ningsangi ko okay, howzik sir na hairaktoise photosynthesis ki reaction amte ithoki ko. Photosynthesis I see panbi na kai sungmaneba food in the form of glucose. Glucose se kamay sungdono hai tardi carbon dioxide ka water ga sinner sungdoni in the presence of kanagi presence ta sungdoneba sunlight ki presence ta pigments ki presence. Let me write pigments. The pigments could be chlorophyll alveoli, it could carotenoids, mayam yarni. Pigments ki presence ta. Kay food sungdova food in the form of glucose that is C6H12O6 se sungdoneba. Yareko and as a byproduct oina kay thadoreba oxygen release torokani plus kay some amount of water kharaga thadorokani. Yarba sineba photosynthesis de ado sungaiba glucose a carbon gay compound. It's a 6 carbon compound. Carbon tarukna saba compound ma form togedi will require 6 molecules of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide 12 the carbon carbon taruk the carbon withdraw. And we require 12 molecules of water. See the car wave. Aduga, so 6 molecule of oxygen and 6 molecule of water is released as byproduct when hadokto. C equations at Sisu need the 100. Makada piriba equation singshidagi photosynthesis ki exact correct equations e karambano kandu una. Adoy tardi swai the gedum hodo. Yareko. Amtang som the ying birakoka. I asida in igrisiga shiga kay marilena lainage yingse. Let me repeat. Photosynthesis की मतमदा तौदोशे कनागा reaction तौदोनेबा carbon dioxide का water का अदुगा कई form तौदोबा food in the form of glucose अदुरी photosynthesis हाइरी से थोम तंगा सलो photosynthesis हाइ से it is just the fusion reaction between kana पुंजन अबोइले में carbon dioxide का water का fuse तौबा reaction नेबा तौबतबु आइना नोइदा हाइरक्तोइसे carbon dioxide ka water ka fuse to hai tardi we do require energy change swai da leba carbon dioxide swai se leba water si hekta fuse to gadra di tawroi for the reaction between carbon dioxide and water to happen carbon dioxide ka water ki marakta reaction je thoke hai tari kai change ba energy change ba so the first step of photosynthesis is not glucose preparation kai hana prepare to dia roi energy hana prepare to dia de that very first step of photosynthesis involving preparation of energy is called light reaction. And photosynthesis I combine define to sige kitang akoy higher level da photosynthesis is a process involving two reactions. Reaction ani darkar oiba adumba process amane. So let me write here photosynthesis is a process. Masi thong ama khakni karamba thong no hariba thong se sathaw matamda process involves hariba process se tawnaba hotnaba matamda it involves two reaction ani darkar oi hariba reaction ani se kari reaction no hai tare hanba reaction se energy preparation to gi reaction adugi energy oshinaraga ani shuba reaction sina sigi reactions glucose sungbai reaction se tarni ko ahanba reaction se we call it light reaction haina khangne light reaction ampan ta gi se ko Mahalarga hena khangakini amtang taminagisi. The second step or reaction is called dark reaction. Haina ko. Dark reaction. Ishmani thamage ko. Somda amuktanga yengminagisi photosynthesis haise kanaga punchana panbina machinjak sungba haise kanaga punchana baneba. Carbon dioxide ka water ka ado glucose sungba. But what carbon dioxide ka water ka fuse to gaya tari kai darkar hoeba. अदुदी photosynthesis तौगेदी energy तो वहाँ हाना लेट्रेदी यागिरोएबा अना photosynthesis की इहान हान steps है energy हाना prepare तौनी okay energy तो लेरे हवे मतम द सीडी कइनो अनि शुभ reaction है हवे सरनाई से कहीं को अहान बस step energy prepare तो वे step से we call it कई कोएबा light reaction कई तो वे light reaction कोइनो because energy से कमाइने prepare तो दोनों by using solar energy trap तोरगा सीधन ना भाई अब usable energy तो अंधोक तो ने खंग्रो अदुगा डार्क रिएक्शन की मतमदना हाइरिबे एनर्जी तो सिनरगा केदौदोबा ग्लूकोज से फिक्स तौदो ए उलकी यंको सिदा सिगी डायग्राम सिदी यंको मयाम सनलाइट ते लाप लाइट एनर्जी से सोलर एनर्जी से इट विल बी ट्रैप बाय द काइद नो तारि से थैला कोइट की मेम्ब्रेन द नपीबा पिगमेंट्स मयाम दुना एंट्रैप तोरनी ओके and convert the solar energy into usable form of energy don't we yani ko cell amagi usable form of energy se kaino ATP don't we yani ko the pigments present on the thylakoid membrane hygera grana hygera will entrap the solar energy and convert it into usable form that is ATP do ontoni yani ko that very first step is called as light reaction ka adi light reaction matamda sungdoi se kai neba energy sungdoneba kari energy sungdoba energy in the form of ATP and NADP haise to haise sungeba yare ko kamaina sungdono se by using sunlight and a sunlight sinerga thokpa reaction ni haidana masiki step si light reaction ko rine yare ko aduna akoina angang oingai da kada photosynthesis haise पानबीना फुट सुंगबदुनी खक्तंग ओइना खंगलाएब नत्तेब फुट सुंगबदुदी अनि सुब स्टेप नि हेबा सरनाइसे तो सुंगे हाय तारि फुट तो सुंगबदा आई दो होरेन चाक सागेदी चाक चेंग लेना पैसा हन तानदम चंगे मी हाना द फर्स्ट स्टेप से अदुमाइन तो ना पानबीना मागी फुट से प्रिपेयर तो गया तारि फुट प्रिपरेशन द चंगबा एनर्जी तो हाना प्रिपेयर तो हम चंगे मा that energy preparing step se kai koeba light why is it called light reaction because preparing the energy requires light shin prepare to bogi what energy is being prepared here? Energy in the form of ATP and NADP is 2 Do we prepare the energy? Had we prepared the energy? Once energy se lairaba, adugi energy to shenarga kayimu prepare to yare. We can now prepare glucose. C reaction to yarni. Yarniko glucose prepared to waste steps in a kai dark reaction. Haineko. Yarniko. So when it comes to photosynthesis, don't just think about glucose preparation khaktam oin ugano. Glucose to sung dingai da kai hana sungeba. Energy hana sungeba. Glucose sung doshi kaya sub step no. Glucose sung doshi ani sub step neba. Glucose prepared. Muna tau ko. Ana glucose sung step sidi light directly depend on them. Hence it is called dark reaction. Not that dark test athava reaction we venate ko. High step sidi light directly depend on wa adum step natabagi. Congress and I say, Madoi Tarde Jose, Taila Quiki membrane the Napiva pigments mams na Kaimama absorbed over light. By absorbing that light energy, finally it will convert that light energy into usable form energy like ATP and Kaido onto NADP haze to the what is this particular step called? Now, so where is light reaction happens? It happens on the thylakoid membrane, the two or granada. Why? Because thylakoid membranes are associated with pigments. Yarniko, what are pigments? Pigments are the substances which are capable of absorbing light. Light absorbed to mga maposak sing duneba kung pigments ay si. Kangabo, hojik sigi ATP and NADP is to say kaya sungin ba? thylakoid ki membrane da. Asi sizanaraga hojik stroma sida kanaga reaction to eba. Carbon dioxide ka water ka reaction to ga kay sungeba glucose sungeba. What is this step called? Dark reaction. Adi dark reaction kay to. So dark reaction happens in the stroma while light reaction happens in the thylakoid. Yaraba? Yareko? Aduna photosynthesis how's it higher level sidadi? Photosynthesis is a process. Yes, process involving two reactions. The first reaction deals with preparing the energy. The second reaction deals with preparing the glucose. These two reaction is what we call as together call as photosynthesis. And photosynthesis is light reaction ga direct reaction ga gi ani du neba koina photosynthesis hai se. And hobadai loi ba koina talk to shishu will be talking about the light reaction and dark reaction chineba talk to shi. Yara bro, yara kwa. Now, why am I calling it photosynthesis a physico-chemical process? Photosynthesis is physico-chemical process ko rishe kai gino ai tari photosynthesis ki ihana am the steps hai. Sunlight se kana na hane absorb to ya. Pigments present on the this first step involving absorbing the light by the pigment is a physical process name. There is no chemical reaction here. Okay? Adugi absorption do tawrakanda ATP shungorani ko. ATP do shinarakanda reaction je thoktoira. This is chemical reaction. The second step. Congressman, I say the process involving absorbing light by the pigment is a physical process, while the glucose preparing step is the chemical process name. So it is a physico-chemical process. Haina maina haido. Yare ko. Ai noida aina haido si kyam sidai sida yam ka hina details kau the sukashung kai tri ko. We'll discuss about light reaction in details, dark reaction in details. Yare ko. Hojikti akhoi khangba yabang kho le. Photosynthesis ki definition khang da suya. Noi khang da si ani khaktani sida. You place by heart equation, you please note it as physico-chemical process ne. Haiba sit lang khang lore hojik thokki level. Sibo yaradra? Yarnika. Now, photosynthesis si amtang lower level la kumthra patamda panbi na machinjak sungbanika. Photosynthesis haibase akoina ngasi understood tawriba photosynthesis ki process hai. Scientist amna hairam banati. Photosynthesis se khangnaba hotna matamda scientist mayam amagi contribution darkar oigi. Haidi scientist amna ko photosynthesis matamda light darkar oi harni. Kharam namu carbon dioxide darkar oi harni. Kharam namu pigments darkar oi mo haramgani. Kharam namu photosynthesis ki matamda oxygen thadoi haramgani. Hairiba moi mayam si contribution se pula punjalakanda ngasi ekoina understand tawriba photosynthesis se oirakibane. Yani ko aduna koi photosynthesis ki am details talk jangada will be talking about some historical background. Yani ko scientist kharagi history hana nei gine. Kamain to na photosynthesis haibase mean ekoina khangnaba horakibano haibase khangnaba. Yani ko so I will start with some experiment being done by many scientists. Yani ko shall I jump to that part? Yara bro. Khangbu khangi bro. Can I change the slide? Okay, look here. Hojik talk to sir now. I'll be talking about some experiments done by mamangda lairamba scientists singna tawramba experiments khara yengse. Some experiments performed by many scientists. Huna sana talk to si experiment nipan niko. Nipan si yamna lubadi nati question di hangi ana ICC madi kala sira ina kalambani adubu ai kamaina pagadono niyom laina ba hana utki yusila. Muntaw Ihan hanba experiment hoge sir. Number one, the first experiment. Ihan hanba experiment se variegated lip experiment. Haina ko. Horen halla par chu NCRT kyam thi nungai gyo. Ai swai historical background city sir noida NCRT pamina roi ko. History city. Simadi aina tak to se more than sufficient ko. Lo yarni se NCRT ki line gai. Still horen yumda halaga padi paru so. Adui matung dagi complex oiba jaga kai te NCRT loi pamina to ni. So variegated leaf experiment ko variegated leaf experiment hoje koi variegated leaf experiment si karino amtang yengmina siko now ai karino hydring aida noi variegated kaino khangbro variegated I will show you here variegated leaf tare ko lower class to suyo bani sir this kitang li bright way amtang puthoro ki here si leaf si uremo marang langbra green ga some whitish color ga marang langba lip sing se variegated lip koi ai gino jaga khra green oi se because they bear chlorophyll yawene khara madi green oi se kai ge because they lack chlorophyll ana sumaina marang langba se sang baga samada color ga langba lip sing si kai koi ba we call it variegated leaf haina koi so let's jump to our explanation look here sir ulake yengbiro ko somna kanda to sir sida variegated leaf am katang ye ke si variegated leaf ne laurasi Variegated leaf haidi langdoi natra ai langalage sida asangba khara asangba parts na kai yawai neba. These are the green parts of the leaf. Aduga green siga white ka langhalage sir gi oinadi non green haige ko non green part neba. Sumaina marang marang langba leaf sing se kai ko eba variegated leaf ko. So I have taken one variegated leaf here. Let me write this is variegated leaf neba. Yarekwa variegated leaf sida sir level amtang thazange sigi green sina green part haige dum green reason green oyo part ni kai gino green oiridia kai yormani reckon da chlorophyll na da dum sabna thazange yagadra chlorophyll yawbai ni hairi ni ko sang na idre aduga whitish portion sina ai white hairege non green part noina hairege yarekwa non green part no kaigino non green oidi because they do not have chlorophyll, so I'm going to write no chlorophyll haina tharage yarekwa experiment se kamaina toba tai hairiba leaf se they are exposed to sunlight exposed to radiation hey expose samta toge ko hairiba leaf si let let the given variegated leaf be exposed to sunlight. Sunlight te exposed toro hayema haise. Sunlight te exposed yung hak toro matungda test for stars. Stars ki test to. You remember iodine test in biomolecules? Biomolecules ta iodine testing sang ibo. Yani ko, stars is tested with iodine. Yani ko, stars se iodine ga reaction to ko tamda kay machu oy. Dark blue color oy. Kay gino da ay ningsang bring se hapetang recall toroke. Ako na biomolecules ta ki wakang the stars in helical structure like gibni. Like gibni ko. Ano horen iodine se hapten na tamda iodine me ham se sangjal my halide sing se trap torle. Forming starts iodine complex form there. And that complex is dark blue in color. Yare ko. Anyway, ako'y amtang test tawsi adong kang niyo sa sunlight exposed tawra matungda followed by kay daw ba followed by conducting star stays tawra ying biyo star stays si kamain tawdawa iodine test tawdawa yare ko mayam ay noy nungay na ba sida amtang hapsan birange panbigi futse kay ne ba panbigi futse kay no sarnes de irise glucose. Plants prepared food in the form of glucose. The glucose then stored in the form of starch. Glucose yung kay form da stored to doneba starch. Adi panbi de starch yung tari kay tawre hayna. Photosynthesis tawre hayne. Yare ko to sige idea sima hana kambi tari because starch is a polymer of glucose ki polymer nina. Hangbro sarna hai se asi tawba kanda hoji akoy na kay uge hayba kanda sige green parts hai. Green parts. Okay, let me draw it here. I machu adum use tawge ko. Horen problem leitanaba. Just a second. Amtanga yekhige sine larse. Asigi green machu ki jaga singse. Chlorophyll yawni natra. Aswai jaga dadi kai thomane. Photosynthesis thomoidra. Adi aswai jaga da kai shungamane. Starts. Ana aswai jaga se. Horen iodine test to matamda dark blue machu loy oire eva. That is, it is tested positive to iodine test. Iodine test to matamda positive la eva. Yareko, kay yaure haino blue machu na taise starts present oire haineba. That means in those portion photosynthesis has undergone. Photosynthesis has taken place. Photosynthesis taure harineba. Aduga white oiba jaga se. See the white adum oile ibani da. Yareko, kay test to matamda iodine test to matamda white adum lairishana tapadi kay yaudre haino. Stars yaudre haineba. Stars yaudaba meaning there is no photosynthesis going on. Photosynthesis athadre haineba. Sidagi akoina kai khangbang ngamge haba kanda photosynthesis takes place only in green parts of the plant. Se khangbang ngame. Yani ko from this experiment, what do this experiment so? I will iraki ngai ko ko. Six sige experiment dagi akoina khangi se kai neba importance of chlorophyll during photosynthesis. Yani ko photosynthesis requires green portion called as chlorophyll darkar oi haba se khangeba. Yani ko so let me write importance of sidagi akoina khangbang ngami se kai neba importance of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll की importance खंगबंगमी करम कांदा during photosynthesis की मतमदा chlorophyll दरकार होय है खंगबंगमे यारे को now सिगी जगह से dark blue color indicates presence of kai. Very good. Indicates presence of stars. Presence of stars. Or in other words, these are the reasons where photosynthesis has taken place. Photosynthesis tawgraba jagane haine. Yarniko. White city kaidawi, no stars present. No stars present. Hence, no kai sathara maroi. Kai sathada vai no stars laitrise. No photosynthesis. Aswai jaga sida photosynthesis tawdre ta ineba. Aduna koi kai khangi photosynthesis tawge haiba taragadi asang ba jaga da karwe. Asang ba di kai chlorophyll pigment se darkar oi haiba se. Sigi ahan ba experiments le khangba ngami haido. Yaraba? I first experiment understand tawre haina loroge ko. Now let's jump to the second experiment. Ani suba experiment mo yengse. Ani suba experiment. Let me write number 2. Ani suba experiment se. Yengse ko. Sida view. I leaf ama loge. Let me draw a leaf here. This is the leaf. Si leaf ne. Handa muki ki sida na kamain toge the leaf se. This leaf gets covered by a paper. Paper am na covered to one leaves. Karamba paper na leaf sigi machet ama se black paper na covered to reba. Whereas machet ama na exposed to reba. Yare ko? Ay hana igi yengo. Just listen here. This region of the leaf has been covered by kay paper na say black pepper. Kay the way black pepper na covered to light changhandriba. Yare ko? Si kay neba black pepper covered with anathage ko. The portion of the leaf covered with black pepper. Black pepper na covered to jaga. Whereas sigi jaga sina karamba jaga sigi jaga sina exposed to light. Light uncovered area hai tara. In other word, expose. Exposed part ne. Light exposed to saru sina light jangan daba jaga ne. Yare ko? Jose light ka kam pangiroi amana kupsan daba jaga amana kupsan daba jaga. Now the entire leaf set. Let the leaf be exposed to kay the exposed to yung aseba. Sunlight the exposed to yung asesni. Ernie ko, cha manana sisu sunlight exposed to wiro, followed by kay test to ba stars test intang to ying seba. Stars test. Sige stars test it tawre ying matamda. Sige ay samdal age ko. Sige exposed part se swai jaga dadi stars is found to be tested positive. Stars positive oil. Kayo kay pangyay no sila. Stars tested iodine test to matamda star tested positive. Kayo may no start saureba di aswai jagada kai chathare haino photosynthesis chathare haineba whereas covert toba jaga se aswai di stars tested negative stars tested negative in other words stars yaudre ne di aswai jagada kai chathare haino kai photosynthesis. So what do you know from the experiment? We know the importance of light. So light darkar oi habse khangem sena light phangba jaga do na kai chathai haino sibo photosynthesis covert towards the light from the without light no photosynthesis can happen. So from the experiment we came to know the importance of sunlight during photosynthesis. Zaina kay kama meba importance of sunlight during photosynthesis haibasima khangba me yari bro maya yari bro Swai scientist maming amta thon giroi ko hogolakpa introductory part macha ne aina noida paba nungai na ba na sum hapoane. Can I change the slide? So we have done 2 experiment. Now let's jump to third experiment. Hum sube experiment amo yengsim. Ahum sube experiment se NCRT da maming di pande aseng badi moles experiment ko bani ko. Now most experiments su kawi half lip experiments su kawi NCRT the half lip tipali aduna ai simadi maming thonjalage half lip experiment more highly scientist in a toramba experiment ni aduna mole experiments su kawi but it is not mentioned in the NCRT yare ko sigi mole experiments na karamba makhal gi experiment no amtang yeng mina seba serga listen here yengo most experiments ni tawisina sumaina. Let's say this is the stem. To the stem bears a leaf. Sumaina leaf ang palib. Yare ka. Mol hariba nupa sina ne. Hariba leaf sige tangkaya masa. Kaida hapsan buano is put in a jar, transparent jar amada manungda thingjalib. Yareko, transparent janiko likli gi jar. Yareko, adoi tardi swai jaga sidi exposed ko. Will this part be exposed to light? Yes, very good. This part is exposed to light. Now my question is this part exposed to light? Answer is yes, because the bottle is transparent. Yareko, animakta kai hapsaleba light exposed to it. Yaraba, hariba mana bottle se, sigi bottle si manungda, mana kai haptan gayam tamda, potassium hydroxide solution chalk katan hapsaleb. Potassium hydroxide na cholalaba lasing hapsaleb. Yareko, potassium hydroxide se karama makalgi chemical no haitari which can absorb carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide absorb to ngamba kaineba chemical namane. Sila lasing hapsaleba. Yareko, kai cholalaba potassium hydroxide solution the deep toraba haitare. Aduna bottle si manung de yorn ba carbon dioxide kaise kanana loy absorb to thokre. Potassium hydroxide na sok toraba cotton sina loy absorb to khre. So no more carbon dioxide available in the bottle jar. Bottle ji manung da kai yaudre bojik no carbon dioxide yaudre. Yare ko swai di carbon dioxide phangi bra. Yes, mapanda le leaves aga sari carbon dioxide phangi manung da le riba lip ki portion sari carbon dioxide te exposed to khre. Yare ko now after a while we tested for stars, the presence of stars. Kay test or seba mo stars test amuk tawrev. Yare ko stars test to wakanda. I'm going to write here. Kay tawreba stars test. Stars test si kay tawar to dono iodine test to niko to doise stars test to wakanda ne. Sige expose to riba part se swai jaga se. Asidadi kay present oiba thengnareba stars. Yani ko this part has been tested positive to tested positive. Positive at start sa army hani. Yani ka tested positive to starts. Positive to starts test. Sumahay ka sir. Sige portion sila di. No stars. Stars yaramdreba. Yare ko. Stars yaramdri kay tawdre hay no. No photosynthesis. Photosynthesis tawdre hay neba. Siday na kay kangya koy for photosynthesis to occur, plants require carbon dioxide. So importance of carbon dioxide during photosynthesis never siday na. Yaraba, can I put here? So let me put here. This particular experiment shows the importance of kanagi importance never sida sota origina importance of carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. So these three experiments are the first few introductory portion never sina. Yarabo, yareko, si makha tarakpade de koi scientist the best of experiment hodromne. Can I change the slide? Next, look here. Matangi experiment kya sudono mari sub experiments hai. Fourth sub experiment we call it Joseph Priestley experiment or Bell jar experiment. Haina khangne. Yareko, fourth sub experiment si Joseph. Ning thousand ki Joseph to nate ko Joseph kai Priestley experiment. Noi ya school pakhang angawa yengabra. Yengeba. Bonito no pido na shaya bidabado. Balana. Last the MBBS thorokan yarakpado. How powerful this exam is. Okay, look here. I don't know, power yakna. Joseph Priestley experiment se kaishu koeva. It is also called Bell jar experiment su koeva. It is also called Bell jar experiment. Yung ko, Joseph Priestley na tawri se kaino yeng se sir gamtang. Mana ne? He took a lighted candle. Candle na malawrew. So this is the candle here, and this is the burning flame. Duneba. Yare ko, sige candle se, siday shidamana ne, kay na kufunba. Sige candle sidamana, veil, okay, nga ko sumay ay sila tage. This lighted, or burning candle, I should say, burning oina thage burning candle se sir se samjal horoge ko or amukta da ani samjana ba yana a mouse ma yeke live mouse uchi ma uchi oina lawar su yai burning candle oina lawar su yai hariba burning candle or uchi se mana kaina covered toiba covered with a bale jar amana covered toiba covered kaina covered toiba with a bale jar adi jar ne dum bale shape oiba hai tare haishde yeke ka look here sise mana bale shape ki jar amna swai kupsale bale jar sina kupsan badaidi ngasai burn toramba flames it get extinguished mutre okay yarabasima or the mouse died uchi do shi suffocate toraga hangi ko now let me draw here si cover to matamda mouse died uchi do shire sidana flame extinguish masibo kem khangdri ko kem khangdri now he repeated the experiment sa cha mana the experiment sa amu halla yenge ba ko handa mukti kamai toge da ai sida samdalage ko handa mukti mana tawriba experiment sa kamai toge da he took the burning candle again umukusu lawre burning candle do or kaino mana lawre se ngasagi mouse to ahingba uchi duma lawre hariba ani se kedawreba bale jar na kupsale sine but along with the burning candle breathing animals siga loina na mana bale jar sim the main plan ama hapsale yare ko swaida question leko bale jar experimenta kai panbishin again min never man sinai se yare ko min plan se hapchen matam dadi the burning candle se remain adum mai cha aku ina le uchi su shi da vida matam sang na le isini sidagi mana ai sida har ke ko when placed together with kanaga thamina matamda when ai har ke ko main plan tune kanane main plan burning candle and mouse to stay together put together puna thamina matamda sen kari hadraba thaminaba matamda kaidawreba burning the flame do not extinguish flame do sumuttare and mouse survive uchi do su hingale hingiba yareko sidagi mana ncrt gi loisilakpa sarupta line ama conclusion tarame kai taraki hamtana mana taramiba line sine ba koina phadoise listen here candle ama burn the wise burning means combustion right combustion requires oxygen chumi ko aduri candle amna mai cha kya tardi atmosphere de kai lokthongane oxygen lokthongani breathing animal we are breathing akoi so breathing animal singi manungda chingini na sor honba jiba singi manungda breathe to ise breathe in to ise kai no ade akoina sor honba oxygen loktheba kai de atmosphere dagi yare ko what is being removed by the breathing animal and the burning candle gets restored back by the plants na taram one kai no lokthoi se koina akoina lokthokhibo oxygen do that is being restored by the plant na restore to na de plant na kai puthoe hai na plant na oxygen puthoe habse sidai chorakpam khangba ngame ma oxygen di palamdri ko aduna mana magi lois sigi experiment se tawra kanda kai tareba aduri to sidagi Sidai kai thadorongani si ani sidagi combustion tawtari. What is the byproduct of combustion? Carbon dioxide, right? Sida thadoriba carbon dioxide sina kanana loksangre haino plants sina loksangre aduga moina darkar oiba oxygen duna amuk panbi sina pire haineba ana min to su healthy oina leire aduga breathing animal and ngasagi burning candle to su stay alive for longer period of time kuina dum hinga leire kuina dum cha leire se aduna aikoi ki conclusion se what is removed kanana lothopa removed by burning candle and breathing animal burning candle and breathing animal is restored by kananong restored toiva restored by plants. So from here we came to know that oxygen is a product of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis की production oxygen ही है जो खंगे अदो माँ direct oxygen दी पलम देखो माना पलम इसे क्या what something is removed by burning candle and breathing animal that something is being restored by the plants again later on that something is found to be oxygen oilem done mga bro si bawada sina Joseph Priestley experiment or Bell's experiment. Shall I jump to the next experiment? Yariko. Okay. Next. Matangi experiment si Ingenhousz going. Ingenhousz experiment. Experiment kya sudono? Fifth sube experiment. The fifth experiment is Ingenhousz. Yariko. Magi experiment si sargamu yung minasi kamain tawa experiment no haidana. NCRT-दा Ingenhousz की हौगलप्पा portion खरा यावंगनी आई मरु ओइबदुता का focus तौगे का Ingenhousz ना कमाइन तौगेदने please keep silence mana taurise listen here he took a beaker ani laureba mana yare ko hairiba beaker si manungda mana ne the beaker is filled with water ising hapchale beaker si manungda so he took two beaker both gets filled with water yare ko hairiba beaker si manungda mana al green plant some hapsale and that green plant is none other than hydrilla kay plant ne ba hydrilla sidashu hydrilla se hapsale yare ko akoi moina use to amba panbi sing se kitang kitang ningsang bibam da karwai ko Joseph Priestley na kai shi seasonai Indian house na kai shenai horin york ni Kelvin na kai shena gi kaina yare ko Van Niel na kai shenai to sumaina moina use to amba specimen se ma koi kitang chimpa pu bum change yare ko then TW Angleman gidana kai shena gi kaina will mention sida ai anam bana loi pal lage ngasi hoji ha pise kai neba kai plant neba hydrilla plant animak to use to is hydrilla ngaktani ko hydrilla khangro charang haido adugi hydrilla do neba se hariba beaker ani se amana ne exposed to bright light exposed to weba amana exposed to kaida bright light kapsaleva bright light amana ne kept in dark amambada thamme amana kept in dark khamryo bright light ta thamba beaker se sigi manungda ne there arises many bubbles mayam kareva okay these bubbles are none other than oxygen level, which is the byproduct of photosynthesis. So the case bubbles arises. What bubbles are coming out? The bubbles, oxygen in the form of bubbles. Sila no bubbles. Sila na bubbles tol uya deva. Aduna takpadi photosynthesis to wada light darkar oy hebase. Mo magishna amuke na proof to. Converse na say hangi ko. Aduna sidai shidagi Ingenhousz na hiram ise kay neba. Which beaker? Beaker having hydrilla plants Karamba hydrilla plant jawa exposed to light shows many bubbles. See bubbles se kaine ba? Which indicates photosynthesis requires kay light. Photosynthesis tawada light darkar oy habase ma amuka swarame. See o yaradro? Yarni ko sina kanagi wari Ingenhousz ki wari. Can I change the slide? Yarabo yadriba. Okay, Vicky ke. Oshila ugeva. Next. Look here. Taruk suwe experiment idoni ko. Let me start with T.W. Angleman. 6 suwe experiment se T.W. Angleman hai se. Angleman do M-A-N-N oibra. N ani. Oi ko, okay. T.W. Angleman ki wari se muktasi. Listen here. Yung sila. T.W. Angleman na tawri se. Magi di kitang important oi ko. This is very important. Yung he took a beaker. This scientist took a beaker. On a beaker malawre. Hariba beaker sa gets filled with water. Water na fill tore. Water na fill tore ka naman na hariba beaker sida he put an algam hapsale chloroforan green algam. Kay naman hapsali se green alga. What was the name of the green alga? Cladofora. I see. So naman use tore ba algisi maming chimba kubitare ida hapsali si Cladofora. Cladofora a green alga makaknev. Yare ko. Hariba because Vishidamana he exposed the beaker to spectrum of light. You know spectrum? Mana prism ama laureba ko. Hariba prism sida white light se pass the hole. We allow the white light to first pass through a prism. Let it split into 7 colors. What are those 7 colors often? We call it spectrum of light. What is the process called? Phenomena? When white light passes through prism, it's split into 7 colors. The process is called dispersion of light ko entang podo. Yare ko, hauren sida lae, aduga light has been splitted into how many color? 7 colors. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those 7 colors are violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Ay NCERT ga mana na su tarakige taraktinga ida noi da line ba ko kitang twist to thogo ina explain do ko hari ba monochromatic light wina piba amukta da white and pula puida single wave len wina pass to han bai tare monochromatic light se piba kandana is so maximum bubble in the blue region and the red region the maximum bubble la puyo ata photosynthesis maximally kai jaga thwe haina to blue ga red ma pa da thwe haine yani ko Panbi na kwaidagi pamzaba plant na green plants na kwaidagi pamzaba wetland of light set. One is blue, another is red. Never. That's why si jaga se na kwaidagi maximally taweba photosynthesis se. Yare ko. Aduna sarnay to se adui targadi ngasa NCERT da oina la abada blue ga red mapase da photosynthesis ang maximum to da kwai pamzari se panbi na blue ga red ka ne hai ko. Aduna cladophora mapase blue ga red ka mapase la aga maximum accumulate taweba sai jaga se da. यानी क्या maximum accumulation of the cladophora is seen in the blue and the red region. This shows that green algae absorb maximum current wetland in a maximum absorb the way na blue ga red ko in a maximum absorb the way na maximum absorb the way ne maximum photosynthesis the rido. यानी क्या हम तंग तागो का any plant amana karamba wetland of light se maximally absorb the way haina takpa graph se we call it kai koeba absorption spectrum haina I will come to that part ngasi di hairoi maming khak pala tok to ne amtang ta se ko सरना ख्वाइदगी पामजब कलर से रेड का ब्लू का नेलो से दुमसिदा यानी को मागी सुमाना ख्वाइ पामजब कलर हम लेरमोइद्रा अदा लेरिबा एनी पांबी अमना ख्वाइदगी मैक्सिमली पामजब वेवलेंथ ख्वाइदगी मैक्सिमम होइने एब्जॉर्ब तब लाइट से हाइतारे वेवलेंथ से करमबनो हाइना तापा ग्राफ से कई कोइबा एब्जॉर्प्शन स्पेक्ट्रम कोइ करमबनो ख्वाइ मैक्सिमम होइने एब्जॉर्ब तैसे अदुदो ग्राफ की फॉर्म दो उतारे एब्जॉर्प्शन स्पेक्ट्रम कोइबा यारे को अदुदी मैक्सिमम से काय काय जगह दे एब्जॉर्ब तौग्रेबा ब्लू गा अदुदी फोटोसिंथेसिस ख्वाइदगी लाइट एब्जॉर्ब तौ मपादो ख्वाइदगी फोटोसिंथेसिस तौ तामनी करंबा वेवलेंथ द ख्वाइदगी फोटोसिंथेसिस तौई हैना तापा ग्राफ तना एक्शन स्पेक्ट्रम कोइ यानी को ख्वाइदगी पामजना चारिबा लाइट से कनानो अदि ख्वाइ वाइ फाइरनी साइदा याम चारदे याम फाइ तामनी यानी को फाइबगी वारी लागना एक्शन स्पेक्ट्रम एब्जॉर्ब तौई वारी ओरगना एब्जॉर्प्शन स्पेक्ट्रम ख्वाइदगी एब्जॉर्ब तैसे कई मपानो this is absorption spectrum ख्वाइ एब्जॉर्ब तौरी ख्वाइ कई तौरमनी ख्वाइ फोटो एक्शन तौरे एबदुदी action what action in the form of food preparation photosynthesis maximally we haina takpa graph tuna action spectrum ko so tw Angleman so action spectrum and absorption spectrum so trom ai action spectrum absorption spectrum yam chong ta lakhini ko yam di chong ta lakhini ai noina kitang ka nungai ba what gyan ta phate haraga na ko ai example hai ge look here som de yeng se ko mya violet indigo blue green yellow orange red okay noina khangba pigments khara hairone chlorophyll na tab we have carotenoids we have xanthophylls natra mayam lay pigments not only chlorophyll khakta na tab some sites say on the x-axis I'm putting wavelength of light right 380 nanometer 400 500 nanometer 760 nanometer wavelength ni ko wavelength do ai khara noida tang ko nungai na bana color gi form do ni ire value ni ire sri y-axis sida I'm going to put rate of absorption kayam absorb to ge do rate of kai absorption kayam subsan ge do होजिक आइने ये को तम दगा क्लोरोफिल की कहना से क्लोरोफिल ए की कई पिगमेंट्स की खुमक्त्री क्लोरोफिल ए पिगमेंट्स की हाइरोबा क्लोरोफिल ए ना क्वाइदे की पामजन चुपसन द जगह से ब्लू एंड द रेड रीजन ने ओके कना की पिगमेंट्स की नोइनी से व्हाट डू यू नो फ्रॉम द ग्राफ we came to know that chlorophyll A absorbs wavelength maximum at the blue region and the red region I say khangba ngamdro chlorophyll B gina mana quite pamjana chupsan the jaga sa little away from the blue and little away from the red chupsan le khangro aduga kana gina carotenoids ki oinadi maximum between the blue and red ki jaga wai sida chupsan le adoi tardi sigi graph sida ge khoina khangba ngami sa karamba pigments na karamba wavelength absorb to we hai se sida khangba ngamra which pigment is absorbing which wavelength of light this graph is called absorption spectrum go adori chlorophyll A ga B ga maximally absorb tai se ka jaga dana somewhere between the blue and the red at the blue and the red region neva aswai jaga se na yam absorb tormina aswai jaga se ka yam tormani ade rate of absorption gi muta rate of photosynthesis no harama ba this sina ka action spectrum go ba sina khangro sir na ise yare ko ana action spectrum ga absorption spectrum ga yana na khangba hor krisa tw Angleman ki experiment sidai ni shini kamai khangi ba ma de maximum bubble do kai wai ube adi bubble yam uiduna di blue ga red ka yam fe no what is that called action spectrum photosynthesis yam tawre doi jaga da photo action yam tawre hai ni adu action spectrum ne ba kai gi no doi jaga da kai yam subsan be blue ga red ka yam subsan be kai aduna so the absorption spectrum and the action spectrum se kana gi experiment te khangmang amakhiba pw Angleman ki experiment gi khangmang amakhi hai da ba ko his experiment shows kai show to give a short action spectrum and absorption spectrum khangbang ngambi action spectrum and absorption spectrum khangdadi hangau ko absorption spectrum se magi experiment sidagi ne akoina gyan tagrisi sina taba details torokini kitang khangba hore idea khara sibo yadra yani ka experiment kya sure experiment taruk sure yarage now tare chu experiment hors more let me show next I will change the slide mathang gisi Julius von Sachs experiment kawe yam lai bani someday I am line fan ge Julius von Sachs experiment. Sachs को भी Sachs. Julius von है ना हम सांगना फाड़ने का Sachs की experiment भावियो. ऐसा हुआ अधिमान हायरम से plants prepared food in the form of but stored in the form of so start से मान हायरम बने. यारे को S हायरिबन पास ना S की compound store तो हुई हायरम ने बा. यार को अनाई experiment में ना हायर इसिदा मान हायरम इसे कहीं ने बा. He stated that plants prepared food. Plants, green plants. I'm talking about green plants. Green plants prepare food as kaiwena. Food as glucose when prepared to zabwani. Stored as kaiwena stored to stored as stars when stored to we have sima sukaw ka biragum siko. Also mana kai haramge have matamda photosynthesis to gay tari chlorophyll darkar oi have sum so harame. Hairiba chlorophyll da it is present inside a specialized structure amagi manung diawina. Kaida. What is that specialized structure? Chloroplast neva. Mai matamdudabudi chloroplastic khangdriba udriba. But haide harame mana harame specialized structure do ngasi understand to shidi chloroplast manungdane. Anay itong chloroplast hay niko. Yung kasi da. Also stated that photosynthesis, can I sum up photosynthesis like this? Requires green pigments that are in. The green pigments so mention term there. And it is none other than ngasi khanariba chlorophyll sini have sir na I say. Photosynthesis required green pigments. As understood today, this green pigment is none other than kananeva chlorophyll neva. Haiba green pigments manong kay requires green pigments found inside a specialized structure may manung de found inside a specialized structure. Specialized structure magi manung de and that specialized structure as understood today is none other than chloroplast. Chloroplast की काय दे यावे thylakoid की membrane da or granule की membrane da. See you understand toradra. So this is all about saki experiment ne basina. Yarage mari ni koma harmi se glucose oina shungi starch when store tawi chlorophyll darkar oi chloroplast yawi habes. See me yarage. Now see experiment to kya subano sibo 7 sub experiment la. Now, ख्वाइदगी मरुओइबे experiment. आई ख्वाइ मरुओइबे नि कोइना ख्वाइ लास्ट टाइम Van Niel experiment अमतंग यिंगसे. स्वाइदे आई कितंग खक explanation अमा चंगनी. यारे को मिनिट अमतंग आइ को. Battery low. Okay, yungo. We'll change slide. Let's talk about the 8th experiment, Van Niel experiment. है ना? Van Niel experiment. तागे आद्रा ताक्तरिंगाइदा Van Niel की experiment ताक्तरिंगाइदा sir some noina hanadagi kaba khangpa wari sing hapetang ningsan gisiko photosynthesis की को equation dom dhairo carbon dioxide का kanaga reaction thok toino carbon dioxide का water का reaction thoga food in the form of kai sungdoba glucose C6H12O6 as byproduct oina kai thadrok toba oxygen and water e dakar oidaba singdo haptreko and sir coefficient so haptre just the for teaching purpose ai shikatong lage yare ko now ai na kai carbohydrates muna ta se ko carbohydrates se sir noida carbohydrates se yam details ta khram ni ko biomolecules ta but ai amtang kha yamna tentak nam tang ningsang akhige bio carbohydrates se what is carbohydrate carbohydrates है अरीब मतमदा कमाइना थाजनरम गेमदरा carbohydrate is hydrates of carbon haina hainarame what does this mean look here is it carbohydrate C6H12O6 this is glucose is it a carbohydrate Yes, glucose is a carbohydrate, right? The general formula of carbohydrate is CN is twice N O N chumbro, where carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen are in the ratio 1 is to 2 is to 1 the level. Yareko. Can I put like this? CN is 2O whole N. Sumain thambaya bro. Is 2N ON adum like say. Yeah, bro. It seems like carbohydrates carbon the hydrate nama hapsan baneva. Yaniko. Thaina and aranda definition niko. But matamama that thousand aramise carbohydrate is believed to be the hydrates of carbon minus mind thousand arame. Aduna photosynthesis ki reaction si uba matamda carbohydrate se carbon da kai hapsan baneba hydrate hapsan baneba tugo sumaina carbohydrate se form tori boy ningeba ade sumain thopo reaction oram tari hadori bo oxygen se sigile mori bo oxygen se oram tari chumbra. So once during the early days it was believed that the oxygen released during photosynthesis is from carbon dioxide lakpoina ningamme. Yani because they believe the classical and the wrong definition of the carbohydrate to the thousand arambagi. Yare ko hause e si la le na proof torok tune. Yare ko khangbu khangi bro. Khangi ko kai de lakpo oxygen se. Hanadai tamiyo. Yare ko hanadai koi class 11 amta kala apnate photosynthesis ki matamda thadore ibo oxygen it is not from the carbon dioxide, it is from the water dai neba laktoise. Adoi tardi kamaina lai jano haibase. Sir amtanga yengmina se. Let me write the equation again. Reaction again. Carbon dioxide reacts with kanagano reaction to ido water ga. Yareko kaino form to river futuna glucose C6 is 12O6, right? What is being released? Oxygen and water. I dakar oxygen to katang irage ko. Maramdi akoy ki focus oxygen se kai de laki yeng. Photosynthesis to wadane. Always photosynthesis we heck to ge hai tardi akoy kai dakar again we require a hydrogen donor ama dakar we. Hydrogen P bang amba. Yare ko hydrogen P bang amba se kai ko ya. Not acid na to is it an oxidizing agent or reducing agent? Khangdi khangi ko. Okay. Oxidizing agent har na kai pi do ba. Se. What is oxidation? In terms of proton, the define what is oxidation? No in apamba definition or electron na to. Oxidation adi gain of oxygen or loss of hydrogen har na. Loss of hydrogen is oxidation. Oxidation to a compound itself act as reducing agent hydro. Adi reducing agent arda hydrogen donor ne. Hydrogen pithokrane mamandagi masamakti kai thorne. Reducing agent itself undergo oxidation, right? Yare ko adoi tare aina noi da hairak to se photosynthesis to gai tare always kai ma da karwe ni ba reducing agent am da karwe. In other words, we require a hydrogen donor am da karwe. Adi water ki role se hydrogen donor ne. Yani ko mungondai kai pi do basida sida hydrogen do piram wanida to ga kai form to do ba carbohydrate ado sida thadri ba oxygen se kana dai la poiram do na water dai la po oidone na sir na hairak to ne ba aduna ngasidagi sarna haraktosa even without water the plant can still undergo the organism can still undergo photosynthesis athawa kai leire reducing agent ama leire yani ko ana reducing agent se water na tashwiya hai ba hydrogen donor ambu leitare hydrogen sulfide or shriya hai ba ze kai pi khani ya kai win thadoroni horan sulfur gas win thadoroni as long as hydrogen donor is available photosynthesis can still happen खंब्रो अदोई तारडी होरेने रिएक्शन से सुमाइन तो अनबान कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का वाटर के की महत्व को हाइड्रोजन डोनर अमोइन पिछले like H2A गुम्बोइन यारे को the compound form is still kai form to reba glucose gum form to reba but the release byproduct is A when it hado reba खंब्रो सर I say so let's compare the two reaction this reaction and this reaction from this we came to the conclusion that oxygen is coming from water not from carbon dioxide I was a khangmangami and hairakto yare ko ai loidri mana talto is purple sulfur bacteria ga green sulfur bacteria da ne palaki ge aina haining is the khangi braba no adu itardi look here this is photosynthesis carbon dioxide undergoes reduction or oxidation water undergo water get oxidized to oxygen after gaining the proton, the carbon dioxide get reduced to carbohydrate, the reduced to so photosynthesis is a redox reaction. Kangro sir na hai se kana na oxidize to iba water. After losing hydrogen, water get oxidized. Tadi ma oxidation to na. Tadi water excess. Reducing agent. Water get oxidized to oxygen, while carbon dioxide get reduced to carbohydrate. As long as reducing agent duma lady tardi water yaw the sui I have a certain still carbohydrate will be formed. Masi kanado ugay tardi bacteria ni khatu ufange. Water yaw the still photosynthesis to wanga meze. Photosynthetic bacteria ni khata. One is green sulfur bacteria and another is purple bacteria. Purple sulfur bacteria. Ana venel gi experiment la age ko ay asomdari thadokre ibadi somda tharage. Venel na to isa he took two bacteria. Bacteria ni lowe mana. What bacteria? Purple si ani si bhavyo ko purple sulfur bacteria and kay green sulfur bacteria. Yare ko both are karang makal ki bacteria la phototropic bacteria ne photosynthesis to bang bacteria ne. Yare ko let me write both are phototrophic bacteria. Mana haiba bacteria singsida kari uge haiba kandane. In this bacteria, he saw that carbon dioxide se water ko combine to de visidity. Kana gawina a hydrogen donor called hydrogen sulfide ko ina combine to iyo. Reko. And still kay form to eva she is to o form to uye badam. C is to O. Is it carbohydrate? Is it carbohydrate? Carbohydrate I know. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen should be in the ratio. 1:2, 2:1 adum layeba. And he saw the release of sulfur gas thadropu iyo. Yani ko, ako'y ngasay higher plants sa topa normal equation na kaya. Carbon dioxide react with water. Sumbro forms carbohydrate and releases what? Oxygen. By comparing the two equations, we came to the conclusion that oxygen is coming from water and not from carbon dioxide. I say kangbangamgi haini. So doing the comparison, we came to know that oxygen comes from kaidagi, comes from water. Haibase magi experiment sidagi kangbangamgi heba. Yarage. Ako si loidor experiment matiyang katang ay redo na ilwesyon lamagi ko. 9 sube experiment. Just maming kagtan ni madi experiment ay nati. 9 sube experiment se. Ruben common experiment hay na. Yang pasabi ni maming? Ruben comment. Ruben comment na tawrisin na. He confirmed that oxygen released from water. Yare ko. Ngasay oxygen se water day thadro puni se kana hayar me. Kana na? Venela. Asisa mo confirm to one. Handa mo ki confirmation sidi 100% kapni nga yaw draba confirmation ay tare. Kamain to geda ne mana. Water lawre mana. What is anagano? Carbon dioxide lawre ba? What is the atomic mass of carbon dioxide? What is the atomic mass? 16, right? Oxygen gi. See oxygen se normal oxygen. Ado mano water de use to riba oxygen se heavy isotopes of oxygen atomic 18 doing lower. Yare ko reaction je thole o kanda glucose form to C6H12O6. Ida yaw riba O6 C6 kayo me ba? 16 kay thadore eba oxygen sila thadore oxygen se kayo le me ba? Agi 18 radioactive form do. Yani ko heavy isotopic form do oil me. Yani ko. So this confirms that oxygen comes from water and not from carbon dioxide. Harm dioxide. Sina Ruben comment experiment. Yani ko. Ading masay din tali me am sa. Photosynthesis e kanana define tormino. Photosynthesis is scientist ama khapna define toro manati. Scientist may contribution ever. Adugi contribution may am do pujala kanda photosynthesis ngasi understood tawri se oirakthibani hana taraktone adunane moigi contribution se koi chuanga photosynthesis tambaya na moigi contribution hana tamese siwa yaradra siwa tors komya thank you all